Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, we're going to start our session now and be comfortable with your posture and relax your body. Also, keep your back straight and neck head straight in one line and gently close your eyes and focus your mind to this bell sound. So, while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. Do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. නමෝ තස් භගවතු අරහතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස් භගවතු අරහතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස් භගවතු අරහතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. Homage to the blessed one, the exalted one, the fully enlightened one. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in this meditation session, we're going to practice tranquility meditation and vipassana meditation both. So, we develop tranquility meditation as a foundation for our meditation. So, for that, we take contemplating inhalation, exhalation, which we call anapanasati, or contemplating our breathing, observing inhalation, exhalation. So that is the tranquility meditation primary mental object. And when it comes to observing inhalation, exhalation, we mainly focus our mind to in front of our nose and upper lip area, this area, not anywhere else. And also, once you focus your mind to here, remember not to think about your inhalation or exhalation. Don't interfere with it. Just completely allow it to happen naturally. So while inhalation, exhalation happening, and you will experience the sensation of the inhalation, exhalation. So recognizing that that sensation, and through the sensation, analyze this is inhalation, this is exhalation. Recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. So that is the most important part. That is the first step getting to the practice. If you try to visualize or interfere with your thoughts or the ideas, or if you try to change the pattern the way you want, then it's going to become something else. So here we completely allow inhalation, exhalation to happen naturally. And when you allow it to happen, it's kind of like that boat well anchored and stay on the water. So according to the water, the boat moving up and down and doesn't move anywhere. But at the same time, it is well stable because well anchored. So same like allow inhalation, exhalation to happen itself. This only thing is just focus to the sensation and find the sensation. So if you cannot find the sensation, don't have disturbed mind. Just only work with your posture little bit, moving your upper body back and forth or head little bit up and down. or maybe your mind busy or somewhere else, and bring it to the sensation. So that way, when you do a little experiment in the beginning, you will find the sensation. So once you have the sensation, and just follow it, knowingly, this is inhalation, this is exhalation. And the next level, and follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. This is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. And also you may experience some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold, like that. Just accept it. So tranquility meditation means tranquilize. So it tranquilize your body, your mind, and breathing together. Equalize. That's why when the body, mind, breathing equalize together, you come to a point called equanimity. No resistance regarding anything. No disturbances inside you. So you come to a point and balance. So balance what? Your breathing, your body, and the mind. So these all three things happen together, interconnected, interdepending. But the thing is, in day-to-day life, what happening? Our body somewhere else, and breathing keep working with something, and the mind somewhere else. So in the first level of meditation, what we does as a tranquility meditation, it allow your body, mind, breathing to settle down and the same place. So once the mind settle down like that way, your entire system become more sharp, clear, energetic. So once the your mind become more clear and sharp, with that clarity, we're going to observe our five aggregates: form, feeling, sensation, formations, recognitions. So that is vipassana. In the vipassana level, there are four foundations, four kind of meditation techniques: kayanupassana, vedananupassana, chittanupassana, dhammanupassana. So anupassana. So according to that, whatever happened, according to that pasana, observe and recognize, analyze, not making something. So as example, Vedananu pasana. So then anywhere, if there is a pain or sensation, so according to that you observe, not according to the way you want or according to your ideas, you're going to see the pain. So see, in day-to-day life, what is happening? According to our ideas, we look into something. That's what happening everywhere. The most of things. That's why it create in our mind first, that everything came to this world as this consumer product, and also machines and technology, medicine, this most of things is according to what we think, we manifest it. So that is the very nature of the world. But here we reverse the pattern. So according to whatever happens, we observe. It is very difficult in the beginning. Why? Because the pattern we used to do, according to what we think, we go with it. That's why mostly when we trying to build up something, we have plans. We have a blueprint. So what the blueprint means, whatever you in your mind, you bring to the papers. So like that. But here it's not like that. So whatever they are, without interfering, without having any kind of comments, you just observe. And that is Vedananupasana. Kayanupasana, contemplating the body. In Chittanupasana, according to whatever the thoughts arise, without going with that thoughts, you observe it. And Dhamma there are many, many natural processes in our body. And you recognize it. Even with the related to heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness with the four elements, and the blood circular system, breathing system, and the skeleton, and the way the muscles work, digestive system, this everything happen naturally. And we take it as a dharma. So you observe deeply and without interfering to that and recognize it. So when it comes to four aggregates, form. So the form, you can take this body as form. So in the four aggregate, in the four foundations, mainly when you come to the pain, that way also you come to the form and you recognizing the form. Even you come to the kaya anupasana, that's mean contemplating the body. In the first level, you recognizing the form. And another way, the form means, so whatever come to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, as sound, pictures, smell, taste, sensation, or ideas, that also we call form. So bell sound, so that is a form. The sound, when you say sound, what sound? So bell sound, so that name giving a kind of like a pattern, it giving a structure to that sound. So as example, that you are in the middle of the forest. So then suddenly there is a sound come. So that what is the sound? So then you recognize it is a human sound. So that once you recognize that it as a human sound, it giving a form to that sound. So the color is the same. So even example, when the colors, so how you recognize? So somebody say it's a red color, white color. So the white, the name giving the form to that color. The smell, the same. So whatever the smell come to you, and then somebody can say there is a smell. Oh, what kind of a smell? Oh, something burning. See, once that categorizing and that form will help you to recognize it very easily. So that's how this everything, the sensation. Oh, I have kind of some sensation. Oh, so what kind of sensation? It's like somebody touching me. See, that's giving, oh, if there's a kind of like, the mosquito biting. So it's giving a form to the sensation. And the thoughts the same. So what kind of thoughts? There are different, like, dislike, neutral, different forms. So that help to recognize it. That way we clinging to that and we hold it to that. But whatever that come to our mind as a form with the sound, smell, taste, that's everything change. Even you take this body as form, that also same. That is a physical structure. It come out of the form come out of heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, out of four elements. Feeling, sensation, formations, recognition. These four things come out of the mental condition. So remember, when it go to five aggregates, the form come out of the four elements. And and then feeling, sensation, formations, recognition. This all happening as a result of the mind. So the body and the mind. So the body create by the name and form. And then it develop, name and form develop to body and mind. So the body and mind, the body is the form, mind is feeling, sensation, formations, recognition. So this everything, moment by moment change. So you have to observe it within yourself, within the body, not outside. So then whatever you, if you can stay here and follow the sensation, forgetting all the details related to inhalation, exhalation, just the sensation, that is the bottom line. So stay with that and see. And at the same time, most important, it is not like you are in the middle, you are the subject and you are observing everything change like that. No, subject and object both change. So that's mean while you observing the sensation, when you recognize as inhalation, so the recognizer subject also come to a point to be with the inhalation. And when you recognize something as exhalation, subject cannot be with the inhalation. So subject has to let go, experiencer has to let go whatever that in that moment it experience and then move forward. Otherwise, it cannot experience this as an exhalation. So recognizing the, in the beginning, we start with the object. And then little by little, you have to recognize that is the depth of the vipassana. When you go to the vipassana level, that is what, that's why people know, everyone know everything change. Even you, when you go to buy milk, you know, the very first thing that you do, you know, you look the expire date. Why you look expire date? It's not because you practice vipassana, because you know things change. But that not allow you to develop this kind of understanding. The here, the observer, the subject, experiencer change. That's mean your consciousness. Recognizing that is the important part. But you have to go step by step. In the beginning, tranquilize. You balance it, not to move anywhere and not to get disturbed from anything. Then you secure it, you become more comfortable with that. And then you go to the vipassana level. And in that vipassana level, you take whatever that mental object, at the same time, you become completely, totally free from all the techniques or the methods and even the old experience that you have to go moment by moment without collecting, without comparing, without resisting, without arguing within yourself, with your own experience. When you experience something, can you drop that experience in that very moment? The experience and experiencer, both. So it is a process of, you know, when you practice, it happens. That is where the vipassana take you. So then in the beginning, you practice tranquility meditation, and then after that, follow the sensation or whatever the strong sensation arise in your body, or maybe sometimes you don't feel physical structure, or maybe you hear a sound or smell or thought come. So any experience, it's take it as a form, and then it bring a kind of sensation. observe deeply, thoroughly, and then recognize how that sensation change. So moment by moment, go with the change. And that change, subject and object both change. So you also changing, and see that observer, recognizer, how the consciousness also change moment by moment, moment by moment. So with that, we're going to practice a little bit. Your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes 3 times and say so Patveva. Oh, may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation, and then later observe the 5 aggregates and recognize impermanent, unsatisfactory nature and selflessness within any sensation. So bring attention to your body and observe head to toes and feel your whole body as one. Bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Deeply and gently breathe out 3 times and find the sensation of inhalation, exhalation. So allow your inhalation, exhalation to happen itself. Just recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. Do nothing extra. If your mind go here and there, don't worry about it. Just keep focus to the sensation. Just recognize this is rising, this is falling. Get a mental note. Just allow your inhalation, exhalation to happen naturally. Follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. Knowingly, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. Also, you may experience some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just accept it. Keep your attention to the sensation. Drop all other details. Just see how the sensation change moment by moment. And your awareness, consciousness also change moment by moment. See how the subject and object both change. Bring my attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe, also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this with clear intention. Mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward to your backside. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it. with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, it is important for us as ordinary people to maintain our mind undisturbed. It is not about meditation, even in this conventional life, to gain some kind of happiness, satisfaction, comfort for you and for others. And as a person yourself personally, and as a family, as a society, as a country, as a world, as a human being, it is very important for you to use the method to keep your mind more balanced and relaxed. When it comes to that in day-to-day life, the mostly one of the biggest challenge that we have, the guilt. The guilt is mostly overtake our life in different conditions, in different ways. And as a social being, and sometimes from the culture, tradition, the whatever we learn, or even the dharma in spiritual practice, we practice this everything to find the peace and happiness and harmony and tranquility state. But sometimes what you learn can overturn, or sometimes you manipulate it and you misuse it, and then what happening, what you know start to bring the guilt to you. So then that guilt become the kind of like a hindrance. So then you have to be very careful to develop a sharp mind, because the highest of this guilt is guilty consciousness. And once you have the guilty consciousness, it affects for everything, whatever, to your bodily, verbally, mentally actions, and even to your family. Forget about the spiritual level, even in the very conventional level of life. So then, how you get out of the guilt? And why this guilt happen? Is there any way that you can overtake this guilt? So when it comes to guilt, that mostly the guilt happen because of this. There is a fact And that fact can happen as an incident, as information, or as anything. So there is a fact and there is an idea. So once the fact and the ideas start to have reasoning, comparing, and resisting, arguing, rejecting, so like that situation, as a result of that, what's happening, the guilt start to come. So how the guilt come? There is an act, and there is a fact, and there is an idea. So once the ideas start to reasoning with the fact, or the arguing or comparing or resisting or rejecting, then what happening, as a result of that, the guilt happen. And once the guilt happen, you take the guilt as a problem. So once the guilt become problem, then what happening, it kind of like become permanent inside you. So then mostly what happening, we condition ourselves, our life, with the way of we thinking. We condition our life the way we thinking. And once it become permanent and once it become a condition, what happening? It every day, it start to go with always this pattern. Reasoning, arguing, comparing, rejecting, resisting with the fact. And once it become habit, and then it become a kind of like a character. So once the guilt become a character, then the whatever you do, in all ways in your mind, there is a doubt, and there is a fear, unsatisfaction, worry, anxiety, depression, unbalance. So this kind of everything start to come together. So the guilt, and then it brings the problem. So the problem means something throw into you, something you have to face. So an unexpected way, or even you expected, it's something come from outside. And but it's a create from, it's invite from the inside. So then when there is a fact, rather than trying to reasoning, comparing, or arguing, rejecting, resisting with your ideas, why you cannot accept it? Once you able to accept whatever the fact, there is no way that whatever that fact going to become a problem to you, because you accept it. Once the fact not going to become a problem to you, and if you able to neutralize your ideas and total acceptance, there's no guilt. So if you look at any court cases, so mostly then the person go, and then what the person they ask, are you guilty or not? Then if you say, oh yes or no, I did this, close. And but the people don't want to accept. Even the fact they don't want to accept. So why it come to that level? When there is something, it happens. Everybody saw it, everybody know it, and you know it happened. And maybe in that condition, there are reasons for that. Why sometimes even something happen within ourselves, why we cannot accept it? Because we have the self-centered mind. So the self-centered mind always separate the fact from you. But you don't see that fact is related to you. And you try to separate from you. And once you try to separate you from the fact, so what is happening? Whatever that the ideas that you carry in you, you bring up and try to overtake the fact. But we cannot do it. But still we keep thinking, we trying, we keep trying. Why? Because it is not just happen on one time. This happen eons by eons, eons, eons. And you have no idea how old that pattern, that your this self-centered mind is very, very old. And it is so strong that you don't see. So that's why that whatever happened, even it's a fact, we cannot accept it. Even it is reality, even it is ultimate truth, we don't want to accept it. That's why in the vipassana level, total acceptance. See, no any kind of patterns, methods, completely free, empty. In that emptiness, no kind of like a self-centered ideas hold, total freedom. In that total freedom, when you accept anything, you become free from that. So rather than carrying the guilty consciousness or the guilt, remember that is very important for you to get out of it. Otherwise, what is happening? When one incident, it happened with the one incident, maybe as a child, something happened. And then rather than accepting it, why we not accepting it? Maybe through the culture, tradition, or maybe somewhere we learn. So that's how we get this. Otherwise, if you are the first person in the world and you never heard anything from anybody, or if you never see anything from outside world, how people cheating or kind of like that way. If you are the first beginner of this world, when something happen, you accept it. You never try to go against with the fact. That happened in the ancient time. In the ancient time, when people did something wrong, if other people ask, did you do this? They accept, oh, I did this. Then what happened? Then they decide, okay, if somebody do this mistake, then you have to get punished. So then later what happened? When they made a mistake or when they do something, the next time when everyone gathered, ask, did you do this? Yes, I did. Okay, then you have to punish. You have to get the punishment, accept the punishment. And then the person accept it. And then later what happened? How people start to tell lies. And the next time when they do it, in case because of something, everyone gathered and asked, did you do this? And that person say, no, I didn't do this. Then you free. Oh, then person thought, oh, if I say no, I can be free. Then why I have to say yes? Because if I say I have to punish, if I say no, I no need to punish. So then people start to tell lies. See, so that kind of, we learn it from somewhere. And as children sometimes, and as parents, you have no idea how children learns. So maybe you think they don't know. No, they know kind of like better than your grandma sometimes about you. So like that, they observe, they learn everything from you. And then that they know what happened and they know they didn't accept it. And in between that reality and happening, there is a reality and the being itself, there is a unbalance. So that unbalance bring the guilt. So how you can fix it? To fix that, what you have to do? If you start to accept, no matter what, whatever the cost, if you accept it, it become a biggest turning point in your life. But mostly, and we keep playing this game, keep playing this game. So in another way, that remember that when you have the guilty consciousness, what is happening? It leads you to mistakes because it affects for your awareness. And when that awareness not become sharper, clear, and what happening, whatever come out of your bodily, verbally, or mentally action, you make mistakes. And the mistake start to invite more problems, more problems. So then the very first thing, remember, the guilt bring inviting problems. So then to escape from that, whatever the guilt happen, so accept it and another way and start to have a new journey. In this very moment, from this very moment, you can move forward. So then you develop the clarity. So then you develop the awareness. Then you develop the, the trust inside you, integrity. So that way, from this moment to next moment, you become very clear. So that clarity will help you to overtake the guilt. So if you are able to continue the duration with that integrity, little by little, little by little, little by little, little by little, it becomes stronger, stronger. Another thing is, when it comes to meditation, and once you recognize that how that everything become change moment by moment, moment by moment, and that understanding will help you to let go the moment of the experience, good or bad, both. And in that very moment, you recover. In that recovery moment become your turning point. But in conventionally, as ordinary person, acceptance is the best way. Accept it. And from that moment, you become very clear. So once you accept, and it will help you to move forward. So otherwise, if you try to argue and fight and reason, reject or resist, or then it becomes something else. So in day-to-day life, that rather than having this kind of like a conflict, difficulty, as an ordinary person, to keep your mind clear. So then always remember, it is deeper inside you, the way you recognize your life is very important. So that's why you have to keep your mind clear for you, not for others. Why you have to live for others? No, you have to live for you in the beginning. So for that, you have to develop the clarity for you. And the other thing is that, and we all have to go through kind of like mistakes. Even that whatever we learn today, maybe tomorrow this is not going to work for us. And then from that tomorrow, if we try to compare it, whatever today we do, and then it's going to not work, because when you attain to enlightenment, this everything going to become kind of like you know, useless. So then if you develop that guilty consciousness regarding even practicing meditation, and maybe you have to go somewhere and you didn't practice meditation, or maybe you determined yourself, I'm going to do this, and you couldn't do it. So then why you carry it in your mind? Why you keep that burden inside you? Because you have to accept it. I didn't have time to do it. Even somebody asks some money and you cannot give because you don't have. Then you say, I don't have it. That's it. Because you become very clear with it. And you don't develop any kind of mental versions, thinking again and again, again and again. And you putting all the thoughts on it, and then you develop something. And then what will happen in day to day, whatever you're going to do, then it going to affect for your abilities. Why? Because you make mistakes. So another way is, so remember, one way to clear the guilt is acceptance, total acceptance. And another way, so this is more kind of like when you start to practice meditation, how the guilt become clear. You become more aware regarding the work you do. And in that moment, what happening, the comparison or the arguments or the resistance or rejection are not going to happen. So you become total aware, or you bring the total attention to whatever you do, not whatever happened. So that way also you get out of the guilty consciousness. So one is acceptance. Another one is giving total attention to the present moment of the work. So that is what mostly does through the tranquility meditation. And another things, this is if this is also in conventional life, you can become very successful if you can practice. That is, get out of the comparison. Because mostly within day-to-day life, we addicted to compare with everything. Even you have all the best things, you cannot take it as separately, and you cannot appreciate it, and you cannot enjoy it. You have a disease to compare. It is real disease. Imagine as a health-wise person, even as a beauty-wise person, that you have the beauty, you have the health, you have the food, you have the house, and everything you have, whatever exactly the way you want. Even sometimes you are the one who created that. It's a custom made house, custom made car, custom made the clothes and everything, custom made furniture, but still you cannot get out of comparison. You compare it to somebody. Even someone have kind of that something very little than you, and you have the best, that. Even still you have that disease. While you having the best, why you going to compare it to someone have very little minor things? See, now you can understand how this effect for us. And that also a reason to have the guilty consciousness. And later with something, because now you have the disease, you comparing, and that's become one day with one incident, maybe you start to hit with the fact and reasoning, then you start to have the guilty consciousness. So then remember, one thing is total acceptance. And other one is bringing the attention to whatever the work you do. And another one is get out of the comparison. So that is the third one. That is the bigger one of the big disease that we all have that. You know? And so, and get out of it if you can. And just be with it, whatever. And the fourth one, this everything happened with the self-centered mind, or we call the egocentric mind. That's where that is where the guilt get nourished. So if you able to get out of, that's why we go to the vipassana level and deeply observe the five aggregates. What is the ego means? What is the self mean? Self mean your body and your name, and the form is the body, and your feelings and your ideas and your consciousness. Those are the self. Beyond that, there is no something that you can get as self. When this everything mixed together, you call the self. And the side effects you have as ego. So then, if you can get out of it, that way also you get out of the guilt. Why? Because when the guilt comes, when the center point become I. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. I. So that is where in the vipassana level, we go to the bottom five aggregates: form, feeling, sensation, formations, recognition. That is where the manifest the self. So you go to the depth and recognizing moment by moment, form change. And it develop the unsatisfactory nature, and the form selfless. You take one thing, forms or the physical structure, selfless. That's why from childhood to now, it's keep changing. And then one day, like your grandparents die, your ancestors die, this structure, this body also going to die. And the feeling, the next one, you take that next one. So you observe the feelings and recognizing the feelings arise, change. Not only change, the whatever the it brings us as satisfaction, that also change. Unsatisfactory nature, moment by moment, moment by moment. And feelings also selfless. That's why it change. If it has a self, then we can hold it. So whatever we feel, but we cannot. So now you recognize that also. So the form, selfless, and the feeling, selfless, sensation. So sensation also, when you observe and you recognize, that also according to the feelings, moments by moment, moment by moment, it change. What is the sensation mean? The duration and the depth of your feelings, sensation. And that also moment by moment change. And it also has no self. Formations. Formations means sanskara, or the phenomena, or the thoughts related to your past, to this moment. And that also moment by moment change. And that's why it try to repeat it again and again. We all are try to repeat the life. That's why. If it is not changed, we can hold it to that. Even the moment of thoughts. But it's not going to happen. And so that also selfless. So you get out of that also. And the consciousness, awareness. and whatever the recognition come to us. And that also moment by moment change. That's why yesterday you learned something, you thought, oh, I learned this, I got it. And the very next day, when you read the next chapter and you recognize, oh, whatever you learned yesterday is not right. But today, this one is the right. So then see what happened to the consciousness or the awareness that you had yesterday. It changed to this moment. So like that, when you observe deeply, even in tranquility meditation, that now we feel this body mind, it's very rough feelings. But when it come to tranquility state, your body, mind, breathing, this everything become equal. You cannot feel the breathing. You, how about your body and mind both come to that level? Just imagine what you're going to feel. So that kind of softness, this inside this, and you feel kind of like a 150 or 200 pound, this heavy body like this way. But there is a way you can get out of this. So how about, you never felt that? So how about now what you feel as body? And if you run, 10 days, if you exercise 10 days, if you fasting few days, and if you change your, eating patterns few days, what you feel going to change? So that's mean what your consciousness going to change. So you can try 5 days. Completely your life going to change if you change your body weight, the way you think. And sometimes, as example, 170 pound, if your body is heavy, and you become a little bit kind of like a tough, holding, aggressive, so like that. So you bring the weight down, and you get out of, from 20 pound, you feel more generous. You feel kind of like a listen to others. You feel like to help others. So like that, you can try it. If you change the, but if you have to keep the balance with your body, according to the weight, according to the height, and according to the age, you have to carry the necessary, the physical weight in day-to-day life. But spiritually, when you develop that pattern, what you feel as who you are can change within few days. So as you know, that's people, change that's kind of like a brainwash people. One of the main thing they do is change the physical pattern, especially terrorists. How they change the people's mind. One of the best way, the very first thing they address to their physical pattern, they change their physical structure, the weight, strength. So that effect was their mind. So you are the same. So then why you cannot use this all to become a better person yourself? So you can try a little bit, So that way, once you recognize the self moment by moment change, you get out of the self. And that is the fourth and the best, highest method to get out of the guilt. So 4 methods. One is total acceptance. As a conventional life, that is as ordinary people for us, one of the thing, total acceptance. Another thing is get out of, crazy, disease comparison, Another one is, so this both in conventionally you can practice. Another two, it develop your spiritual path also. One is completely focused to the attention, tranquility meditation. And the other one is get out of the self-centered mind, vipassana. So in tranquility in ordinary way, 2 methods. In a spiritual way, 2 methods. If you try to practice Somehow one of this, master one of this, that will help you to get out of the guilt. So otherwise, remember, the guilt is the best friend of the problems. And it affect, once the problems come, it affects for your self-confidence, it affect for your self-abilities, and it affect for your spiritual development, and even the this conventional life also. So try to to work in day-to-day life, and it will help you to have a very comfortable life in this very lifetime, and deeply it will have nourish your spiritual path also. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ettavata cha ammihi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya hotu. Sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.